start by saying sickle cell is something that is quite personal to me. I have two children living with sickle cell, and when I had my children in Ireland, it was something that was quite new, and there was this huge challenge on the Irish pediatric system. There was huge lack of knowledge in the area of sickle cell, even within the medical professionals, and so you can imagine even in the community. And coming from where I come from in Nigeria, when you have a child with sickle cell, you know, because of the societal stigma, you're nearly meant to hide your story. True. You know, and being a migrant in Ireland myself, like, you know, from a black background, and having children with sickle cell, from my perspective, was sort of a double jeopardy, if you like. So there was this huge lack of access to appropriate healthcare services, lack of knowledge out there, and, you know, like, I would say, you know, even the way you're being treated. I remember the first time I presented in the hospital, it was more like people were beginning to run HIV tests, and, you know, and all of that, because the crisis would present in a way that, you know, because of the lack of knowledge, nobody knew what it was. You know, so for me, I felt, because even if I knew what sickle cell was, I did not have that much knowledge enough to be able to even start educating people. So the first thing I did was to re-educate myself, because it was a personal challenge I was...
Thank you. Esther. Well done, Esther. You can sit back and relax yourself, Esther. Relax. You're in the studio.
It was a personal challenge I was going through.
Yeah.
And it was important for me to really understand, you know, where I was coming from before I was able to say, hey, this is the story here. This is what, you know, as much as I have two girls of my four, you know, children, you know, with sickle cell, and I'm sure we'll come to most of what the crisis is and what sickle cell is all about. So you know what the impact of sickle cell is.
I love to know, to be honest with you, because sometimes, you see, it's just the society we live. You know, so many things. It's not that we don't know them. It's just that they're not really out there. You know, and if people like you were able to cry out these things, you know, it'd be difficult for people to know what exactly these things are. Like, you know, so like you said, we're gonna go into more of these things, and you'll be able to break it down. So we'll be kind of all be educated about these things, because we might be living with these things and not knowing to us at home. You know, so it's a good thing that you're really doing. You know, so at the moment, what is it like in Ireland? You know, you're going through all of this process. You went through Parliament. You went through other areas. You canvassed this campaign. You put it. So where are we standing in this sickle cell issue right now?
Currently, we have managed to bring the awareness to the Irish Parliament. Like, we had done it, you know, single-handedly as the society, as much as we have also collaborated with this national campaign called the Patients First campaign, where I'm proud to say, you know, we had that sort of platform.
And I'm proud of you as well. I must be honest. Thank you, Esther. I'm proud of you for that. It's a great work you're doing. You know, carry on, Esther.
So on the platform, we have the Irish Medical Organization, the Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, the Irish Nurses and Midwife Organization, and we have the Irish Patients Association. And the platform, you know, is led by the Irish Patients Association chairman, Stephen McMahon. He has been a great supporter to the society himself.
Wow, thank you.
So
come on. Give it up for him. That's true.
So last September, we had a presentation in the Parliament, and it was shocking, you know, the Health Committee and everybody else was present there, and, you know, it was quite shocking for people to get to realize the realities of what we live with. Like, I would have shared my story, it's all over, you know, it's online and all of that. I would have shared my story where I would have waited 5 years for my child to access, you know, a service. And while she was waiting, her health deteriorated. She was in hospital nearly every 2 weeks, and you don't even want to know the impact of hospitalization, you know, on the family as a whole. So I really don't want to jump, you know, going from one end. I'll take it gradually. For people that don't know what sickle cell is, it's like a distortion in the red blood cell. The actual red blood cell is in donut shape. And when you have the sickle cell, it forms a crescent shape. That means oxygen, you know, the main cell, red cell, is beginning to lack oxygen. And this happens when a child has crisis.
Okay.
Yes, their red blood cells begin to crescent. So when that happens, it causes a lot of blockage, especially around the joints, and the child begins to have serious painful, you know, pain, which is what is called crisis. And the crisis can lead from, you know, even the smallest to the largest thing. It could lead to failure of your body organ. It could, you know, in some very rare cases, end of life and all of that.
And would this fall into, say, like you're looking at kids, maybe younger people? What about adults? Can an adult have the symptoms of this kind of, you know, disease that goes around, or what are the symptoms of that?
The thing there is, it doesn't have symptoms. It's a genetic disorder.
Okay.
So it has to be inherited
From a family.
from a family member. So we have, the way our genetics operates is, we have the AS, we have the AA, we have the, and when you have the AS and the AA, if there is always 1 in 4 chances of having, you know, contributing, yes, a carrier gene.
Okay.
So where you get married to a carrier, who carries the gene is an AS. Like myself, I'm an AS.
Okay.
You know, and my husband is AS as well. So during the process of reproduction, I contributed S on 2 occasions, and he contributed S.
Yes. Okay.
So we have 2 girls with, you know, the SS
I see.
gene. And the other boys have AA. We both contributed AA. So we have 2 boys with AA and 2 girls with SS. You know, so it's all genetic, like
That's
the
true.
same way
Just like
you have your baby, you know, your baby has the same eye colors as you, and, you know, the same
Kind of, yeah,
yes,
okay.
genetics as you. That is how sickle cell is. You don't get it from anywhere. It's an inherited blood disorder. But unfortunately, when you have the, you know, sickle cell gene, you know, you fall into regular crises, leading to long stay in hospital, and sometimes it can be life-threatening crisis.
Wow.
And children are in so much pain. So I think more of our work within the society, like in recent times, we have been collaborating with the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's very good.
Where we have the healthcare symposium. We have the opportunity to lecture, to, you know, tutor, lecture, well, I call it lecture, nearly 450 students of the general practice department in the college. And we have linked in with, you know, some prestigious colleges around, you know, like UCD. We recently had another presentation within the African Society.
So there's a lot of presentation and awareness campaign going around. Just make sure people are aware of this, and they can always go for help and that.
Yes.
And you do some other, you also represent Sickle Cell Islands in the EU as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's right. And also you work with the Esther. Come on, she's doing. There's a lot about Esther on the show that we don't even know. But never mind. If you want to check more of this information, she's on the web page as well. You can see more of Esther. Esther, just before you go, you've done some work. You've worked with some other younger people. You've worked with other kids and children. We can see some of them. Are all this part of the? Are they all part of the whole process, or what's the or this just a part of the charity areas of where you work, or what's like?
Well, the World Sickle Cell Day is the 19th of June. It was declared by the WHO in 2008 for the very first time to recognize sickle cell, create more awareness. So in 2013, it was the first official World Sickle Cell Day in Ireland, and we decided to bring knowledge to where it hasn't been found in terms of sickle cell, and we took it to the schools in Ireland. When we got into those classrooms that day, we did this amongst, you know, several schools across Dublin area. When we got into the classrooms we were in that day, by the time we came out, it was like a whole new generation.
Wow. Before we let you go, have you got a website that people can go in and educate themselves, and, you know, if they need help and information on the website or Facebook, whatever you have, so they can find that from you?
Oh yes, we have our Facebook page is Sickle Cell Society Ireland, and our website is www.sicklecellsocietyireland.org. We also have a Twitter page, SCS_Island.
Yes.
So
many. You can find out. Don't worry. Don't worry, Esther. I can't do no more time, Esther. Esther don't go nowhere. So viewers at home, this is all we have there for you as we come to the end of the show. Esther, once a big thank you very much for coming on the show.